meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners is called to order. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the state of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City, mailed to the Current and the Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, grant us the wisdom to walk in thy light and the courage to accept the responsibilities placed upon us. Grant that our principles may be sound, our decisions wise, and our performance in office faithful. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we'll all stand and face the flag. Attention, salute.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, we'll have a roll call.
Madam Chair, Commissioners Bertino, Days, and Gatto will be attending virtually today. Ballas.
Here.
Bertino.
Here.
Horsey.
He's not here, but I'm present.
Days. Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Gatto.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Risley.
Here.
And Kern.
Here. Okay, the commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from August 16th, 2022. I'll entertain a motion to adopt August 16th, 2022 minutes as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we, motion by Commissioner. Yes. Who did you
Horsey.
second? Did you?
Corsi and Risley.
Corsi, okay. By Commissioner Ernest Corsi and Commissioner John Risley. And do we have someone, I think Mr. Bertino, are you abstaining from that?
Yes, I'm abstaining.
Okay. Hey, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Abstain.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days. Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, anyone in person that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name, the town you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you're attending virtually, please type yes and the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during the public comments. You will be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, please state your name and the town you reside. Okay, and now we will have a resolution, Madam Clerk.
Honoring the 50th anniversary of the Atlantic County Office on Age.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Risley and seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Okay, we'll now welcome Chris Wilson, Division Director of the Intergenerational Services, Cindy McNellis, Executive Director of the Office of Aging, and Mary Beth Lewis, Chairperson to Senior Citizens Advisory Council. And we thank you very much for your service to the Office on Aging, and we invite you up, and I'm sure the commissioners will have something to say. That any commissioner.
Couldn't make it.
What's that?
Very much.
Oh. Do we have any comments from our commissioners? Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Thank you very much. It's been my honor and pleasure for the last 5 years to be the liaison from this board to the Senior Citizen Advisory Council. This organization and the department offer so much to our seniors in Atlantic County, from lunch programs at the nutritional sites to visiting people who are homebound, helping people figure out what prescriptions they need, how to get health insurance. It's amazing, all of the things that they do. I don't think you get enough airplay. You need to make it in.
Yeah.
You do a wonderful, wonderful job, and it really is my pleasure to work with you guys.
And it's not easy guiding people through all of the government regulations and how to do it, and you do it very passionately and patiently with the people. And that's all I've heard was wonderful things when they get into it with somebody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Risley?
Yes, I just want to echo what Commissioner Fitzpatrick said and Commissioner Kern has said. You guys do a great job, wonderful job. You've been doing it a long time, and just keep up the good work. That's all I
Thank
can say.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Madam
Commissioner
Chair.
Bell?
Yeah, just want to say, just a personal experience. It's going back a few years now when my mom came down with dementia, and I got the assistance through your office. We had to put her in assisted living, and the going through the Medicaid or Medicare process.
Medicaid.
And you guys were extremely helpful. I don't think we could have did it without you. And I mean, she's since passed on, but the assistance that you guys gave to our family is much appreciated throughout our whole family. And I don't know if we would have been able to get her into the assisted care if it wasn't for your office. And again, we thank you for that and congratulate you. I mean, you've been doing this for 50, well, not you, but the office has been doing this for 50 years, which is awesome. It's a great service to the residents of Atlantic County.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on one moment. You're not done.
Okay.
Any other comments from our commissioners? Okay.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Gatto.
Commissioner Gatto?
Yeah, just a quick echo of the comments Commissioner Ballas made. We had the same experience as well with my grandparents. And also just want to mention, I think the office has been creative in seeking out new grant opportunities and new funding opportunities in the recent years. And also always very open to feedback and understanding challenges that our residents are going through as they navigate, some of the services they need for their parents or their grandparents, and always willing to listen to that and try to make improvements to that process. So just want to recognize that and say thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from our commissioners? Okay, and just hold on, because after we do this, we have a presentation for you.
Okay.
Any comments from the public? Seeing, hearing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
She said yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. It's Patrick and I will. Okay, picture time. Okay. Upside down. I have a habit of doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
Congratulations so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, and now we have an interview. All right.
Appointment of Michael R. Kelly as the Atlantic County Warden for the Public Safety Department. Resolution number 503.
Second.
Okay, we have moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Ballas. We'll now welcome Mr. Kelly for an interview.
Thank you. Don't get nervous.
Okay.
It's okay. I took my medicine before I got it. See how far away you stand from me.
Any commissioner comments?
Ballas, come on, we know you. Okay. Madam Chair.
Absolutely.
So,
Were you calling on him?
he put his hand up like he started school these days.
Podium so you can see.
So, Madam Chair, I've known Mike Kelly, our future warden, for many years now. Observed his work at the jail, not only as a police officer, but also as sheriff. Worked along with with Mike on several projects. And, Mike has been doing a great job out there. He's been making quite a few wardens before him look very, very good. And expect very good things from Mike. And I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. And I wouldn't want anybody other than Mike Kelly being the warden right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Risley.
Thank you. We had a great meeting with the committee out there with the jail, and I think it was very, very good. A lot of things came from that, I believe. And I'd just like to convey to you that we're with you. We support you. We look to you for your input. And don't be bashful about it. Let us know if we need something, if we need to do something, something we should be doing, or whatever it may be. And, you have a great obligation out there to keep the facility as clean as you can, and every aspect of it. So whatever you need, please let us know.
Thank you, sir.
Any other comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair,
Chair.
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but Risley to talk about whatever you need is a limit.
Okay.
I don't know what you talking about. No, I'm joking. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you well.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gatto?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Mr. Kelly can maybe share with us some of his vision or goals for taking the helm.
Well, right now, my number one priority is to, we're currently down about 19 officers, and we're working very diligently with the new legislation that was signed by the governor that we can hire outside the civil service test temporarily until you pass the academy and then become civil service permanent. We've been getting a lot of feedback on that. The civil service entry test would come up once every 3, sometimes 4 years, and that just wasn't enough for us in a lot of the county jails statewide to fulfill the vacancies. A lot of people come into corrections, they'll stay a year or two, they'll move on to a police department, or they realize it's not for them. So we do have some turnover in the first couple of years. So right now, my main focus is to get the staffing level where it needs to be. So we can continue to keep the community safe and the facility safe. And that's like one of my priority goal right now. I've been part of the ministry. I've been there 23 years, for those who don't know. I've worked diligently with the last 4 or 5 wardens in administration. So carrying out their vision, which was my vision too, to keep the place, humane treatment for inmates, clean, meeting all the DOC standards, expanding our treatment for all inmates, for medication assisted treatment, mental health treatment, and that's a big priority for us. And we were one of the first in the state to offer medicaid assisted treatment, which has helped us out greatly in keeping those programs going. So that and the staffing right now is my top priority for taking control of the jail.
Any other commissioner comments?
And Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Martina.
just more of a statement. I had the opportunity to serve with Mike when I was on the jail committee a few years ago. He was always extremely competent, came to the meetings well prepared. I know he has the best interests of not only the people that are interned there that are serving their time, but also the staff. So I look forward to him doing a fantastic job. I know him to do no less.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners? Okay, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Fortsy.
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Now we will have our Public Safety Department Head, Mike Bedorko, who will administer the oath of office for Michael Kelly. And congratulations, Michael Kelly. If Brenda, maybe take her phone, take a picture.
Okay.
Would they, yeah. Would you like to give her your phone to somebody to take a picture?
Yeah.
Do it over here, this. Thanks.
I say your name.
I, Michael Kelly,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
I promise to uphold the standards
I promise to uphold the standards
and policies of the Department of Public Safety,
and the policies of the Department of Public Safety.
and I will faithfully, without partiality or prejudice,
I will faithfully, without partiality or prejudice,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
as a County Correctional Police Warden
of the County Correctional Police Warden
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Very good.
Have a seat. Yeah, I'll stay on it.
And now, as we say, we're going to go into our resolutions. So if anybody would like to leave, feel free.
Say it.
I didn't say anybody.
Congratulations, Blake.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
Congratulations again. Thank you
Bye-bye.
for all you do.
Is it safe to assume our former warden has already retired and isn't even there to hear a word of congrats or thanks for his service?
No,
Yeah,
he's
he's
not.
not here.
Okay, that brings us into our resolutions with resolution 462.
Amending resolution number 668 adopted December 7, 2021, a lease agreement with Egg Harbor Leasing Limited Liability Company to occupy office space located in Egg Harbor Township for a Child Advocacy Center, net increase $61,570.
Second.
Okay, been moved by Commissioner Corsi and second by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioners have comments? Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Worsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 464.
Alternate method contract with Trapeze Software Group Incorporated, doing business as TripSpark Technologies for software maintenance used by the Atlantic County Transportation Unit. Amount not to exceed $58,387.50.
Move.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing here none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Now, under grants, we have resolution 476.
Amending resolution number 215, adopted May 3rd, 2022. The grant acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Children and Families for the continued operation of the Atlantic County Family Success Centers. Net increase $29,400.
So moved.
Second.
Who do we have? It doesn't matter. Okay, moved by Commissioner Ballas and seconded by Commissioner Fitzpatrick. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. We are now at resolution 477.
Cost reimbursement federal aid agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for fiscal year 22 funding for the construction costs associated with Brigantine Avenue Sections 2A and 2B project in the city of Brigantine. Amount not to exceed $2,814,482.35.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Dave. Who moved it?
Risley and Days. Risley and Days.
Moved by Commissioner Risley and seconded by Commissioner Days. Any commissioner comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I guess the jury or, engineer.
Doug's on,
Yeah, I noticed in the backup paperwork, it was like a 2-year span. Is this something they're gonna do right away, or is this something that's going to be over the next 2 years, this project?
Well, Doug is on this particular one, Brigantine Avenue. We have Brigantine Section 2A and 2B. Doug, you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you hear the question? Will this carry over more than 1 year?
Yeah, it's out for bid right now. Bids are due, I believe, September 15th. They will start the work this fall, but it will definitely go into the spring. And if it goes into the summer, we'll have to shut down for the summer and finish in the fall.
Okay, thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yeah, motion carries. Bring us to resolution 478.
Grant acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Children and Families for the Child Advocacy Center Development Grant. Amount not to exceed $227,598.59.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 479.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety for the Sexual Assault Response Team Forensic Nurse Examiner Program, funded amount $185,594, county in-kind match $46,399.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Abstain?
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolution number 480 and 481, chapter 159.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Risley and seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to our professional service agreements with resolution 482.
Amending resolution number 692, adopted December 21, 2021, a professional services agreement approving the selection of a second conflict municipal public defender to serve in the Central Municipal Court of Atlantic County on an as-needed basis.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any commissioner comments? Okay, seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Recuse.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 483.
Renewal professional services agreement with Dr. Christopher Lukoski, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, to be a consulting physician for the Communicable Disease and Bioterrorism Program. Amount not to exceed $24,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 484, please.
Professional services agreement with Hatchcore DLT Incorporated, doing business as Rover Labs, to provide a COVID-19 testing at Harborville Youth Detention Center, amount not to exceed $55,000.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. It brings us to our competitive contracts with resolution 485.
Amending resolution number 107 adopted March 15, 2022, a renewal competitive contract with Royal Printing Service for the provision of election ballot services for 2022 elections. Net increase $49,000.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Ballas and seconded by Commissioner Fitzpatrick. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 486.
Amending resolution number 372, adopted July 5th, 2022, a renewal competitive contract with Atlantic Care Behavioral Health for the operation of a Family Success Center, net increase $9,800.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Risley and seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 487.
Amending resolution number 427 adopted August 2nd, 2022, a renewal competitive contract with Center for Family Services for the operation of a Family Success Center, net increase $19,600.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Ballas and seconded by Commissioner Parker. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Now we are going into bid contracts with resolution 488.
Renewal bid contract with various vendors to supply janitorial and custodial supplies to members of the Atlantic County Cooperative. Amount not to exceed $28,095.
Move.
Second.
Hey, moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 489.
Bid contract with various vendors to furnish and deliver bread and bakery products to members of the Atlantic County Cooperative. Amount not to exceed $74,152.80.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 490, please.
Bid contract with Demountable Concepts Incorporated, doing business as DCI Fleet for body and fender repairs to Atlantic County vehicles. Amount not to exceed $35,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair?
Yeah, Commissioner Bells.
Yeah, I mean, I know only one person, one company, which is the one we're giving this to, bid on this. But, you know, with all the body shops in this county that can handle, heavy-duty vehicles, it's just surprising that we're not having people from this county bid, you know, and, who knows what the expense is gonna be driving the vehicle from here to, is this Gloucester County that they're located in?
And not only that, that's the heavy duty.
Heavy duty, yeah.
I mean, the light vehicles, nobody bid on it at all.
Nobody bid on the lake?
Nobody bid on the light vehicles. I'm not sure why. And, you know, maybe it's because we have a new portal. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, well, it looked like nine companies opened this bid, but only one person came back with a bid on it?
If that's for the heavy, and that's for the
Yeah,
heavy vehicles.
yeah. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand.
I know a number of years ago, we had a lot of the owners of these businesses come in and talk about, you know, shortage of labor, and people just aren't getting into that type of business. So we're hoping that, you know, some of the schools that are starting that back up, you know, is gonna help them. But yeah, we had quite a few of them here, right? So I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I know the body shops are busy, but
Right, exactly. Well, Greg's on. Maybe Greg has some more information, but I can tell you.
Madam Chair?
Be the only one on there, so what you gonna do?
yeah, there's nothing you can do. Yeah. It's just,
They-
it's just a shame but the
Yeah.
body, I mean, if you go and talk to somebody at a body shop, you're 2 months out to
Yeah.
get any work on your car. So I guess they're just overwhelmed.
And they spoke at the time too, like how their families aren't even picking up where for many, many years, it was families just took
Yeah, of
over the
course.
business. They weren't even doing it anymore when they went to college. Commissioner Gatto?
Yeah, just a question through you to Jerry, if possible. Jerry, do we ever, like survey those other 8 people who did open and didn't respond to understand why they didn't respond?
If Ms. Conover, our purchasing agent, has done that in the past, yes. I don't know if she's done it on this particular bid, but she's done that in the past. You know, and she gets the long series of answers, you know, they weren't interested this time. They forgot to look. They didn't open their emails because, you know, you register now on our portal, you'll get these specs automatically. Means you gotta read them, you know, so there's all the answers.
Mhm.
Now, Paul is on, I'm sorry, I didn't know Paul was on instead of Greg, but Paul is there. Maybe Paul has some ideas of why nobody bid. I don't know.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Good evening, everybody. Commissioner Ballas is correct. There is such an abundance of work out there in the body shops that are keeping these guys busy. But this particular part of the resolution is, as he was correct, for heavy duty. So we are sort of restricted in the capabilities. So if you wanted to take your car to any one of the dozen body shops that are around in the area, your personal car and any one of our county vehicles would certainly fit. When you start talking about a box truck, a dump truck, or something heavy duty, the size is certainly a restricting factor. So there may be several body shops out there, but there are very few that are physically capable of handling the size vehicle for this portion of the contract.
Exactly.
Thank you, Paul. Any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 491.
Bid contract with Green Hill Maintenance Services to provide cleaning services for the Atlantic County Libraries and the Cronin Dental Clinic. Amount not to exceed $177,036.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Ballas and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 492.
Bid contract with Tri-County Security to provide security guard services to Atlantic County. Amount not to exceed $2,469,350.40.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Under change orders, we have Resolution 493.
Change order number 2 and final, a contract with Bird Dog Paving Limited Liability Company for the resurfacing of Egg Harbor Greenbank Road, Section 10B in the Township of Mullica and Egg Harbor City. Net increase $83,236.98.
Move.
I think that's a decrease. That
She said increase, but it's a decrease.
Second.
You want me to repeat that for the record?
Sure.
Change order number 2 and final, a contract with Bird Dog Paving Limited Liability Company for the resurfacing of Egg Harbor Greenbank Road, Section 10B in the Township of Mullica and Egg Harbor City. Net decrease $83,236.98.
Okay, it was moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners?
That's a resolution I was happy to sponsor. It's a decrease. Right? We get money back.
And I like their name.
We don't get work, we get money back. So they bid it high and they gave it back on us $84,000. That's
And
great.
they don't do body work.
Yeah.
It may be. Good job.
Madam Chair.
Any other comments from our commissioners?
Madam
Seeing
Chair.
hearing none- Oh, who do I have?
Amy.
Oh. Commissioner
Yeah,
Gatto?
sorry. Yeah, I can't remember, was, Jerry, was this the first road project that we had given to Bird Dog Paving?
I thought they had one before this, Doug
I
probably
just-
knows. But I believe they've had one other besides this road. I'm
I just
sitting
wondering
here.
how they were performing as a vendor. I mean, certainly the decrease, to Commissioner Corsi's point, is a good thing. Just wondering if we had any other feedback on them as a new vendor.
Well, Doug would hear that better than I would. I would tell you that from John and Mark, I heard that they did a pretty good job. And I thought they had one other road, and Mark, Doug is on, so he probably hears more of the gory details every day, so.
I think this might be our first contract with them. I'm not sure if they've done any work for facilities as far as, parking lots or anything like that, but I believe this was our first one with them.
From a quality perspective and an experience perspective, Doug?
I think they were pretty good. I think we might have had some issues on the punch list then, but as far as, the actual meat of the project, they were fine.
Great.
So you asked whether or not they had another job, and obviously I know that they did. So we have, Chris is here, so you think, what did they do for us?
Just right out here, the Shoreview parking lot.
That's right.
The phase one, that was Bird Dog Paving. And they were okay. They were just okay. We're gonna bid phase 2 coming out soon for the second phase of this parking lot. Start designing phase 3, which is more around the central kitchen. So they were okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, any other comments from our commissioners? Who do we have?
That's, by the way, it's, just remember, in the state of New Jersey, unless you can disqualify a little bit or.
You got it.
The little bit stands it.
Okay, did you think somebody else up there was?
It was, that's something else.
Okay, okay. Okay, anything from the public? Right, well, roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Bills to leases with resolution 494.
Renewal lease agreement with Career Opportunity Development Incorporated to operate a coffee shop at the Atlantic County Civil Courts Building and the Atlantic County Criminal Courts Complex Building, no cost.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Ballas?
Yes, just a great comment. I've had many occasions as sheriff to, both in Atlantic City and at the complex in Mays Landing to deal with this kitchen that they have, a little coffee shop. And it's just a wonderful thing that they're able to put the people, their clients, basically to work in there. And they're so dedicated to do a great job. There's no price gouging and stuff like that. You're not bringing some other vendor in there that's trying to, make a fortune off it. They're just trying to job train their clients, bring them in, and they're friendly. They do a great job. So this is a great opportunity, great partnership with the county and Cody.
Thank you, Commissioner, especially for your insight into that, because not everybody does see, thank you for that. Any other comments from the commissioners? Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto, Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to resolution 495.
Amending resolution number 415 adopted July 19, 2022, an intergovernmental service agreement with Atlantic County Utilities Authority to administer the Clean Communities Program to correct the term date only, no additional cost.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Risley and seconded by Commissioner Corsi. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 496, please.
Amending resolution number 316 adopted June 7, 2022, an emergency contract with various material suppliers for emergency repairs of 8th Street Bridge BB-02 over Penny Pot Stream in the Borough of Folsom. Net increase $220,499.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Ballas and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well,
Oh,
roll call.
and the bridge is open, Madam Chair.
Oh, yeah.
Surprised Bertino didn't say that.
Commissioner Bertino called me to tell
Get
me
this
it
from out
is open now. You all got that information, I think, over the weekend, Mike.
Thank you, dear. Okay, have a roll call?
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto, Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. The resolution 497.
Amending resolution number 484 adopted September 7, 2021, an alternate method contract with Acela Incorporated to provide a data management software system for the Division of Public Health to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything for the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 498.
Interlocal services agreement with the city of Summers Point to conduct a quarter study of portions of Shore Road, County Route 585 from Ocean Heights Avenue, County Route 559 to Goal Avenue, amount not to exceed $32,500.
Second.
Motion moved by Commissioner Ballas and second by Commissioner Fitzpatrick. Any
Parker. Parker.
Oh, Parker, sorry. Wasn't listening.
We sound alike.
I threw my voice that way.
Parker does not sound like you.
Well, he did do our chairwoman.
Any,
Commissioner, we have to deal with that.
We gotta work on that.
any commissioner comments? Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Thanks. Yes, I had read in the Sentinel newspaper that Summers Point approved this and the county was partnering with them, and I thought, so I didn't remember doing that. So, I talked to Jerry and he said that it would be on our agenda today. And it's really a good thing because the traffic at Ocean Heights and Shore Road is terrible. I've seen this summer the backup all the way to the bike path. It's impossible to get out there and it's very dangerous. So this is a welcome improvement.
Yeah, all along that area that they're talking about, there's like new things opening up and a lot more pedestrian traffic as well. So, yeah, it is.
And there is, you guys have mentioned to us on a number of occasions concerning Ocean Heights and Shore Road. If Doug's on, Doug, maybe give you an update on, we supposedly put in a traffic light there at Ocean. So, I mean, Doug, you're still there, right?
That left.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna put a traffic signal there, correct?
Yeah, actually the design of the signal is it's gonna be a separate contract than the quarter study, but we will also be looking at, the traffic that
Good
is
news. Good news.
through Ocean
That's
Heights.
fine. Yeah, thank you.
Madam Chair, while we're on this, has the traffic study been done yet on Ocean Heights Avenue between Shore Road and Route 9? Reference to lowering that speed?
I don't know where, Doug is that out there looking at that?
I do not believe that's been done yet. I will talk to our traffic guys tomorrow and see when we're scheduled for that.
Okay.
Any other comments from the commissioners? Anything from the public? Okay, roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 499.
Agreement with Children's Specialized Hospital for the provision of special child health services in Atlantic County. Amount not to exceed $17,000.
Second. Whatever.
Rich.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Days. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 500.
Resolution authorizing the transfer of one county-owned vehicle to communities revolutionizing open public spaces. No cost.
I'll move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Fitzpatrick, seconded by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners?
Yes, please. CROPS is a wonderful organization that has, for the last few years, started gardening and providing food markets, farmers markets in marginalized communities to help with the food deserts that exist in the county and help families have more nutritious meals available to them. It's a really good organization. And I'm really happy to see that we're helping them out.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners? We have somebody from the public, right?
You hear me?
Yes, we do.
My name is Kathleen Spaeth and I live in Linwood. I am very interested in this resolution from the standpoint of when I read it, it says that it's going to be disposed of. It's a 2003 Ford E350 van. It does have a Kelly book value. So did we as a county try to sell it first before we thought about donating it? Or just did we bypass that?
The way we handle those vehicles is this vehicle was taken off the road by the county. We were not using it. And we made a decision to, under the law, give it to this organization that they provide food. So this was a way that the county could assist that particular organization to provide food to the communities that they're serving present. We didn't go back in. Our guys, look, it wasn't, the value of that vehicle really wasn't that high, so that's why we're giving it to them. They know that they have to, we're giving to them as is, which means they're gonna have to go in and do some work to the vehicle. So, those are the conditions under which we're donating.
Thank you, Jerry.
And I believe that vehicle has just slightly under 100,000 miles. So, I mean, it's going to need work.
Yeah.
Madam Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay, well, I think I understand the vehicle and the condition it's in, and according to the Kelly book value, it has a fair market range between $4,293 and $5,918. So I appreciate the concept of CROPS. It's a very good nonprofit organization, and I'm just trying to understand why for this organization, and will this happen with other organizations, that when we have a surplus item that we need to dispose of, why didn't we send it to auction and try to see if we could get money for it to bring the money back to the taxpayers in Atlantic County?
We do that. We do put vehicles. There was I think there were actually two vehicles that we looked at. This was the other vehicle was, I had more miles, it was over 100,000 miles. I thought this one had over 100,000 as well.
Mhm.
And the other vehicle is obviously going to go into auction as there's a number. So there's a number of those vehicles that are out there that are going to go into auction. We grabbed this one because they thought this one could at least be utilized with a little bit of work. So, and I can only tell you that most of our vehicles go into auction. I mean, we have other vehicles that go to, like, as an example, municipalities. You've donated some vehicles of more recent vintage to municipalities as well.
Mhm.
So again, they're well over 100,000 miles. The participants agree to put the money in to actually utilize the vehicle. So they're going to bear a cost, and so I guess we're looking not to hurt them in any way by having them to pay what would go into auction, as well as then have to put the money in to get the vehicle to get on the road and then to maintain it while it's on the road.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes. Commissioner Gavin.
through you to Jerry. Jerry, just to kind of expand upon the process for information for the public. So in general, we tend to get requests in writing from numerous organizations, including municipalities, as you just mentioned, right?
Yes.
And we kind of keep them in the wings for when potentially a vehicle that might fit the request does become available. And what we do is kind of a assessment of, is that organization or the requester providing a public good, right? Some kind of a service to the public good of our taxpayers. And
They have to meet the legal definition. In other words, we go to Jim Ferguson. They have to meet the legal definition.
Right.
So they have to. Not any agency could just call us and say they need a vehicle. So they have to meet that legal definition. They're typically human service agencies or private nonprofits that provide a service within the community. That's correct.
Right. And that's what I was just trying to, from a process perspective, there is a rubric, right, to decide that.
Right.
I think Commissioner Fitzpatrick highlighted some of the items that have the CROPS organization meeting some of that rubric, right? And then that's how we determine if we have the opportunity to donate it or if we put it out to auction. It's as you mentioned, what we just did with several service vehicles to emergency response organizations in various municipalities. That's how the Hope One vehicle was born, right?
Right.
I don't know, Ms. Spaeth, if that helps from just an overall process perspective to understand how that all works.
Thank you, Commissioner Gatto. I appreciate that, and it does help. I just didn't completely understand the process, and thank you for mentioning that you check the organization, and I would hope you would vet the organization and make sure that the organization matches what we want to do on a county level as far as donating the vehicle. Because yes, I do understand that it probably needs a fair amount of work, and it has over 100,000 miles on it, and it is, of an age, I think, of 19 years old. So it's probably not going to be the most perfect vehicle in the world. And I get that we're trying to help this organization as well. And I just didn't understand the vetting process, and I appreciate you clarifying it for me. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have to vent them, by law, but the way the standards are, we have to do that. So, thank you very much for your comments. Do we have anybody else from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Shared service agreement. Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 501.
Alternate method contract with Rothman Orthopedics Institute to provide specialized treatment to the inmates of the Atlantic County Justice Facility. Amount not to exceed $75,000.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 502.
Professional services agreement with DLB Associates provide review of Atlantic County's current energy conservation measures. Amount not to exceed $43,000.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi and seconded by Commissioner Ballas. Do we have any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions number 504 to 506, appointments and reappointments.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Risley. Any comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair.
I had a question on that bottom one, but I
We all do. We all.
I wonder if they could pull that one out. I just don't want to think that got by either.
Okay,
Madam Chair,
yes.
if I may, before the vote, I'm not gonna let this opportunity pass, and I think most of us will not. We can't commend our clerk enough for the outstanding job she does for all of us. She makes us all look good.
Here, here.
I know damn well we get on her nerves. What you do, send me again, especially me, I can't speak for y'all. Resend it, I didn't get it, all that kind of stuff. Her and her staff has done an outstanding job. Make all of us look good. And getting back to our constituent is a number one job. And, sometimes when folks call here, you don't want to hear the drama, but she runs a tight ship. And she does an outstanding job. And it could not have happened for a better person to, Sonia, I didn't want to put you on the spot. 3 more years, give you 55 years with the county.
No.
Oh, okay, I was. But congratulations.
Thank you.
I had to take that shot. It's okay.
Do we have any other
I
comments?
think you said it all.
I mean, she puts this stuff on the
We
diet.
all feel the same way.
I know. It definitely keeps us, all her checks and balances are greatly appreciated. Any other comments from the commissioners? Okay, I think from the public. Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Lost without her, yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to correct you, Commissioner Gatto. I'm not lost without her, but I'd love to have her here. I'm going to roll
There
today.
you are.
Like migraine is leaving slowly but surely.
She'll get you later.
Okay, yes.
That concludes the written portion of our agenda and the reports of special committees of the board.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Park.
Cultural and Heritage Advisory Board, we had our meeting that I announced at the last meeting, not the webinar, the workshop on the grants, $218,000 grants for nonprofit organizations for culture or arts or history. Tomorrow will be the second portion for history. We did arts on the 28th of August, I believe it was. On September 7th, tomorrow, 6 p.m. at 40 Farragut Avenue at the Mays Landing Library will be the second workshop for anyone who's nonprofits that are interested in receiving grants, putting on historical events or doing some sort of historical reenactment or just interested in grants for that purpose. So they're very similar grants. We had the one on the 28th for arts, and this one's going to be for history.
Can you give me that date again, Tom?
That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. I went to the first session. I saw some very friendly faces in that session for arts. And so we've been funded at the highest level that I think that we've been funded at $218,000 from the state. So there's money there for any nonprofit organizations, and I know that we've given out some pretty decent grants. In the last cycle, there was $5,000 grants, $10,000 grants. If you know of any nonprofit organizations that are out there, tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the Mays Landing Library.
Thank you. Any other reports,
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Ballas?
Yes, so on the 30th at the American Legion in Somers Point, the Veterans Subcommittee of the Veterans Advisory Board met with representatives of federal and state elected officials and the general contractor for the new clinic going here in Northfield, the Veterans Clinic. Basically, the short story, he's still waiting for permits from the state. CAFR came back. Of course, they always wait until the last day of the allowable to them, and then they came back with a bunch of conditions as far as stormwater management and some new stuff they put in there, and how many trees you got to put up, this and that and the other thing. And they're also still waiting on a DOT permit, and of course, which shouldn't be a big heavy lift. Something from the Department of Health, some kind of permit for the MRI that they're going to have in there. But the state representatives are very much going to work along and try and get these permits sealed up as quickly as possible so they can start construction of that new clinic, which is very much needed. We're also looking to have another meeting with them and the Secretary of Defense for Veterans and the head of, I guess, Vince, the head of the clinic in basically this whole area. So, hopefully that meeting will occur. Of course, they said they can't do it prior to the election in November, but after that, hopefully between Election Day and the end of the year, we'll be able to secure a meeting with these higher officials to try and get some of the services that are needed here in Northfield, and which will be in the new clinic, instead of some of these veterans that have to either get on a bus or be taken down to Delaware or to Pennsylvania be treated when it was right here in our own backyard. So it was a very good meeting, long, but it was very good.
Good report.
Did you get it all out?
Commissioner.
All of it.
Okay. You dragged
But
me for a minute.
I'm reserving my time.
The balance.
Okay, any other reports of special committees? Commissioner Corsi, we had a meeting with the shared services, right?
No, we did not.
When we talked to the person updating us on shared services, who was that?
Mr. Kreischer.
Yes, you did, Chrysler.
I was
Yeah.
there.
Okay, so,
So y'all had some esoteric meeting out there?
Yes,
Some
yes,
mundane.
yes.
Jerry was part of that decadent, deranged meeting that they had? Oh, shit, that's some.
that meeting you didn't attend.
You see, I had to stop and look like.
So, I found it interesting too, with some of the shared services that that some of our municipalities are getting into. The one in EHT with the Board of Ed and EHT kind of stood out with me because that was a shared service that they ended up doing, which was lighting one of their football fields or fields out there.
Mhm.
And they were able to get a LEAP grant, from that. And Tim has actually reached, when he sees some of these things, he reaches out to the municipality and said, you could do this, this, and this and get a grant. Sometimes it's even after the fact. Is that correct? So even if they've done it, if it's something where they could have asked for a LEAP grant, weren't aware of that. So he's been able to do it after the fact. So, but there was a number of things on there, and I found it very interesting how he's getting out to the community. Some of them don't get back on a few of them. The gas is now, Pleasantville is, with shared services, as its gas. And their proximity makes sense for that. Not everybody's proximity is going to make sense for that, but, it's doing well. And all of that is being shared. Has that gone out yet to the rest of the board? But that will be. His report will be going out to the rest of the board as well. That was because it was just on Friday.
Madam Chair, to that point, I know that I spoke to Tim and I plan on having more conversation. I also spoke to Donald, who's the administrator at Egg Harbor Township. For those who don't know, the project over McKee City has begun, the McKee City Betterment Park that Egg Harbor Township is renovating and memorializing the history of Colonel McKee. That has begun. And so if you drive out there, they've already cleared the land, a good majority of the land. They've already began to put the paving down for the pickleball court and also to renovate the basketball court. So I did talk to Tim about possibly, seeing if there's some sort of shared services that we can do over there with that park in terms of, because as I told you, we have June Sheridan has a lot of the history from Colonel McKee that she's in possession of. So I don't know even if we can get a grant to come up with the casings for it, to how to house these things, to put it into that project, so that when folks go over to the McKee City Betterment from now on, they can see his living will and documents of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of conversations are being had right now. I just don't know yet. It's at the beginning stages of it.
Yeah, and he can offer quite a bit of information to the municipalities as well.
Well, that's what when I heard him say that, I said, listen, let me get out of the middle since I'm not the expert and put the experts in touch with each other.
Yeah.
That's what I can do.
The best thing we all can do. Okay,
Madam Chair?
yes.
On that same topic, I was very happy to hear about the progress and the ongoing progress that Tim is making regarding centralized fire and emergency service dispatching.
Mm-hmm.
Very happy to hear about that. For many, many, many years, I've heard lots of comments and complaints from volunteer firemen, paid firemen over the years about the centralized dispatch. As you know, we tried to build a facility years ago, and of course that met with didn't have the necessary support of the local cities. But I think Tim is moving in the right direction, and hope to see this come to fruition.
And this is strictly the fire departments, whereas
fire
before it
emergency.
involved,
Right, not police.
Yeah.
For now.
So it's,
Police for now.
for now. Yeah, but good
Build it,
good
they
job
shall
there
come.
done by.
One step at a
Tim.
time.
That's right.
Okay, any other special committees?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Just want to say thank you to you and some of my other fellow commissioners for covering some of my subcommittees or being flexible last week. I think, as everybody knows, we had a death in the family, so just appreciate everybody covering.
Absolutely, what we do. Okay, any unfinished business? Hearing none, any new business?
I will. Okay. So on August 25th, there was a meeting at the courthouse in Mays Landing, and Commissioner Risley and Ballas and I attended. And it was to present to the public the idea of having a very highly trained dog and her officer patrolling schools. Of course, it wouldn't be the same dog. That dog is working in Cumberland County, and it's just a program that is being presented to the county and schools in the county. And I just want to say that I have received numerous messages saying that this is not a slam dunk. Not everybody agrees with it. And we even got an email that said, and I'm sure this is a leap, but it says, and it's from Judge Sampson. So anyway, it says, I'm advised by the county executive that the county will be happy to assist those who would like a dog to provide an extra layer of protection. He has advised me that the county will cover the cost of acquiring and training the dogs at our Canine Academy. And that will have to come before this board, right? Before we spend any money. Just want to say that there are other thoughts out there besides what was presented. Not everybody is in agreement. It is not unanimous.
So, Madam Chair, if I may, so I'm a little confused. So what is it, Karen, that they don't support the dogs being in the school?
A lot of people.
Or they're not in support of the county paying for the training? Then I guess the next question is, are they not in favor of the county buying the dog? I still them all together.
They're not in favor of the dogs in the school because it militarizes the public school experience and makes it's uncomfortable. And well, I don't want to get into I don't want to get into a philosophical conversation about gun control here. That's not, we have obviously no control over that.
No, I'm trying to, I didn't make the meeting, so I want to be clear what you're saying, so I understand. First of all, I support the dogs being in school, so I'd like to know,
Okay.
if folks got comments, they can send me some emails. I want to hear the pros and cons. I mean.
Well, that was
I think-
the other thing. I'm sorry, Ernest.
No, go
May I? We had heard that 19 districts said no, and this one, Cumberland County Technical School, said yes. I'd like to hear from one or two of the ones who said no. You know, why? Why? did
Right,
they
but
say
the ones you said you heard from, they wasn't school,
Well,
they just.
This is public people, the public, our constituents.
Gotcha.
We
So,
were told that 19 districts said no when they were approached about this program, and one did say yes. And it was very impressive, the presentation.
well, I'm curious to find out who the 19 are too,
Exactly.
because I think it's another good layer. I mean, if these are the dogs we're talking about to sniff out guns and stuff, I mean, how do we go wrong?
Madam Chair, through you to you, Commissioner Corsi, I've also heard some folks that are saying they don't want the dogs in the school as well. I know the union's going to want to have a say in this as well. So if you want, since I know you're chair of the Education and Schools Committee, we could maybe have it done there. I can have them get in contact with you to say what their issues are with having the dog inside of schools,
I
because
mean, I think that's a good idea, but
I've heard both
send
sides.
for all the commissioners, and so we all on the same page. But at first, I'm kind of like taken back.
I was as well. I didn't expect there to be that kind of negative pushback to the dog being put inside the school, but there was and there is. So we should hear it.
Right.
Madam Chair, I attended that meeting, and it was a 2-hour meeting. It was very impressive, extremely well done, extremely well, a lot of information. I'm sold on it. To me, it's a no-brainer. They went on to explain that this particular dog is not there to sniff out drugs and other things. This particular type of dog training has to do with guns, shots fired, and the dog is trained to go after the gun. And I learned a couple things, like, people that commit these crimes, 85% of them want to die themselves. And if a gunman comes into a school, banishing a gun, the dog will go after the gun. That's the dog's prime directive. Go after that gun and get it immediately. And it was explained in the seminar that a person that is going to do this kind of crime does not want to be attacked by a dog because they know they're going to live. And when I started thinking about the psychology of all this and the presentation and the details that was given over this 2-hour lecture, to me, it's a no-brainer. I think it's school safety. It's unfortunate, but this is 2022. In the world, we never had to think about these things years ago, but the plethora of school shootings that's going on by people that have lost their mind or whatever. No, I think this is a great program, and I think government should be spending money for safety in schools. And if we don't, where does that leave us?
So Madam Chair, if I may, through you to Madam Clerk, look at some dates, and Commissioner Parker will forward us some information for various schools in our area, and get a feel.
Yeah.
So we need to beat up on each other. We just need to hear the pros and the cons, and
And
go from
sometimes
there.
it's education, like these people did, and maybe the districts need to hear some of this. But yeah, we
Maybe
could hear
bring
from-
one
we
of those
could hear
reps
from
in.
our
We should hear
The presentation was outstanding.
Madam Chair, yeah, just to talk a little bit more about it.
You got 2 minutes and a half left in your balance of your time.
That's all I need. That's all I need. A couple things. One thing that we learn with dogs is the dogs are not going to hesitate. The dog, police officer most likely will. Okay, and when that shot is fired, you can't have hesitation because the next shot and the next shot and the next shot could be another body, another body, another body. From what over the course of the 2 different meetings we've had with Joe and knowing Joe Nick for all the years I've known him, these dogs they're not trained to go search lockers. They're not trained like a police dog that you see on the street. They're not trained in apprehension. They're not trained to go out and bite and hold somebody. They're not trained to go sniff and track somebody through the woods. They're trained for one thing. When they hear something that sounds like gunfire, to start barking and bring their handler to that location. Now the handler, until he verifies that it wasn't a pot that fell on the floor or a firecracker or a car backfire, because you're talking about ACIT, you're talking about technical school in Cumberland County. So you're going to have loud noises, nail guns. So the handler has to keep that dog on the lead until he verifies that it's actually a real situation, and then he can let that dog. And then that dog's going to travel between 25 and 28 miles an hour towards that person that has that gun, and bypass all the screaming kids and adults and everything else, the commotion that's going on. And that dog is trained in that focus. Joe Nick is going to be the one who goes and gets the dog at his own expense, not an expense to the county. Joe Nick is the director of the academy, but from what I understand, he'll be the one training these dogs. He trains them at his house, and then Joe Nick will go to whatever the school is. And this is a Board of Education thing, individual district by district by district. I don't know that it's really our say one way or the other. I don't know if there is even going to be any expense to the county, but this is something where, he came up with this concept, and he came up with training dogs to find cell phones in jails years ago. he was involved in the Megan's Law case years ago. It was him and his dog, okay, that found where the body was. So, and this guy has followed school shootings for years and years and years. We can't have something that's happened in some of these other states happen here if we have the opportunity. And again, that's just my opinion. And there are going to be people who say no. There was people that were at this meeting and said, we don't need dogs, we need more guidance counselors. That kind of floored me because guidance counselors have been around since, I guess, schools, right?
Yeah.
So they could have hired all the guidance counselors they wanted. But if the dog is not costing you anything other than food, you're going to have that handler anyway. Okay. And, you know, the most important part about that dog is the handler. And like Joe Nick said, you know, he has to be involved in the picking of that handler. In other words, not because it's the superintendent's son or a relative to this one or that one. If that handler can't be trainable and follow the instructions, okay, where it's going to jeopardize the safety of the people inside that school or wherever they are, then that handler is not going to be picked. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more education that needs to come out of it.
Yeah.
You know, this was a room that probably had, I don't know, what, 40 people in it. Okay. So I think we need more than 40 people to make the decision. But again, it's going to be, you know, individually, you know, there was people there from Atlantic Cape Community College. There was people there from Galloway Township School Districts, from Greater Egg Harbor, ACC. There was, I think Atlantic City was there, Mainland, Egg Harbor Township. So again, it's up to them to go back and convince their boards of educations. And then, you know, we'll see where we go. I think we have a great director of our Canine Academy, does a phenomenal job. And, you know, he has dogs that are not only in Cumberland County, but are in other states. And he's the only person in the country that has the patent on this school dog concept. Okay. And to have him train dogs in other states and not have something in our own county, it doesn't make any sense. So
But like you said, it's education, it's getting the word out there and having, you know, hopefully the school boards and all, et cetera, just pick up on it and start looking at it as soon as possible.
yeah, exactly.
The gentleman's time sex expired.
It did.
Where'd you go? But not today.
That's good information, though.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
gotta look into
If
it.
anybody heard that presentation, I tell you, it was impressive. It was very impressive, specific, and answered a lot of questions people have on their mind. So I think that's the answer, education.
Education is over.
So we'll
Absolutely.
come up with some dates. Come up with some dates and everything.
I agree.
Sure.
And we'll get our education.
Okay.
Sure got
Commissioner Gatto.
Yeah, if I may, I mean, I couldn't agree with Commissioner Ballas and Commissioner Risley and Corsi more. We actually started looking at this program in 2019, and Mr. Fedorko, myself, Phil Gunther from ACIT, were working on it when the pandemic kind of hit. But if anybody had the chance, they should Google the story about Canine Meadow, which is the canine that's in Cumberland County. The story is really it's really moving. The genesis of all of this and the work that Joe Nick has done, revolutionary work that he's done right here in Atlantic County. The research that has gone into this is amazing. And I did speak with Commissioner Ballas and with the county executive because I was unable to attend that meeting. But I had all the information. I fully support it. I don't know. I'm shocked to hear that people are against it because I have not heard that at all from anybody. And I wonder what the reason is, because if any school has an SRO, I believe most SROs are armed. So I don't know if that is an issue. And I know of many of the schools in our county that have had canines come through the school for education, demonstrations, for searches. So I'm very shocked to hear that people are against this, but I would 100% urge people to Google search Canine Meadow and School Dogs, SKOOL, which is Joe Nick's program, and get educated, to your point, Commissioner Risley, because it really is an amazing program. My vision was that we would create a division of dogs that would rotate through every school in the county, so that a potential shooter wouldn't even think about coming to Atlantic County because they wouldn't know where the dog would be. But we can only control our school districts, which are ACIT and special services. So I fully support, if that's the path we're continuing to go down, I'm 100% behind it. And if there's any committees I can participate in to help, I'm happy to.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, we have received copies of written communications and petitions. Any commissioner have any comments they'd like to make on anything that they've received? Okay. Seeing none, we'll now open the public comments portion. Anyone in person that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and the town you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you're attending virtually, please type yes in the question and answer box. You'll be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, again, please state your name and the town you reside.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Christine Ruth. I'm actually here to respond to the meeting that several of us attended last week regarding school dogs. And I spoke at that meeting as well. Both Commissioner Risley and Commissioner Ballas referenced a couple of my comments. I won't get into them too much today because I want to talk about some things directly to you. I spoke about a couple concerns that the educators there should think of, and including the efficacy, the safety of having these school dogs. I can't even believe we attended the same presentation. I found it to be fully propaganda. I did not find it to be an impressive presentation at all. Pure emotion, story, inspiring fear. There was not any research that was offered, except for that was done independently by Mr. Nick. I am not taking away from his professionalism as a canine trainer at all, but this is a brand new, never done before, active shooter dog. That's not happening anywhere else. It's unproven, it's unresearched. It's risky. It's not something that, and I'm a teacher in Atlantic City. We had a wonderful first day of school today. So I'm speaking from the perspective as someone who's in the classroom every day, who's thinking of these things every single day. So a couple things that I wanted to bring up specifically to the commissioners. The first is during the meeting that Mr. Nick offered the dogs for free, tearfully. He was saying, I do this out of the goodness of my heart and I will give you the dogs. And then I was also received the email from Judge Sampson where he said that Mr. Levinson is offering schools the dogs and the training. So I'm not clear on who is paying for these dogs. Is it happening for free, or is the dogs in the training, or is it coming from the county? And if so, isn't that something you should have oversight of? So I know that Commissioner Fitzpatrick brought that up, that if it's some money that's coming from the county, it should be something that should be coming up here before it's offered to schools. Many of us are concerned also that this will make our schools less safe, and for a couple of reasons. One, increasing the force in schools is not proven to be safe. And I should have mentioned also, I have my doctorate in education from the University of Southern California, and my studies were on racial disparities in school discipline. So I've spent many, many hours actually researching what makes schools safe. So this specific program now is unproven, it's unresearched. We don't know how the dogs are trained. They didn't talk about that in the presentation besides, a shiny promotional video. How do we know that the dog will only respond to gunshots? That's, again, he said that they do, but we don't know if that's true or not. There was a lot of talk about that the dog goes 25 miles an hour through the school. However, does that mean that the handler lets the dog go at any point when the dog thinks that he or she has heard a gunshot and responds to it? The chances are fairly high at that point that the dog attacks the wrong person. I'm also not really understanding the purpose, because we're only looking at the gap between the amount of time that the police arrive there and that the police arrive at the school. So if someone calls that there's an emergency, we know in our communities, police are responding within a couple of minutes, especially to an emergency. So really what the point is to close that gap of those couple of minutes. I was really disturbed to hear Mr. Ballas say that police will hesitate. I'm in that classroom every single day. And to see what happened in Uvalde, and then to hear that that's being confirmed here, that police might hesitate to come in and help me and my students. I know a number of police in this county that would not hesitate. And I don't think that the dogs are necessary. I think that it sets a tone of punishment, a tone of fear for our kids. They don't need to feel that way. We know what works already. We've been doing it. We were 51st in school shootings in the country. We're last for a reason, because of our gun control, but also because we have the best schools in the country. We know how to keep kids safe. We know how to connect with kids and give them the tools to be wonderful citizens in society and to move on and to do great things. We do not need this program. A couple other things I wanted to make sure I mentioned. Let's see. Oh, the fourth thing that was promoted was that this is free. And well, we all know that nothing is free, but there's a lot of things beyond that I think need to be thought about as well. The school would be responsible for handling a specific handler just for the dog, an armed guard. Not all schools have armed SROs to respond to what one of the other commissioners said. I work in Atlantic City, and we have local community safety guards that do a wonderful job talking to kids. I'm going to call your grandma, and we are able to connect with kids and help with behavior. We do not need more guns in our schools. More guns equal more violence. And I'm just urging you to understand that this is premature to jump on this bandwagon, that you should make decisions based on research, not on the fear, where we all are afraid that something could happen to our kids. We're doing a great job already. And I think, and I was the one who mentioned that we needed more counselors. Yes, guidance counselors have been around forever. I was one for 12 years. We don't have enough. We don't have enough mental health support. We don't have the programs that we need. I have 800 students in my school with one counselor. So what the superintendent from Cumberland Tech was talking about, the ratio of 1,200 kids to 12 counselors, I wanted to laugh out loud. Like, that's a dream come true. None of our schools have that many counselors. So looking at the ratio that you should be 250 kids or less per counselor. So I don't think any school should even look at a program like this until they're close to that ratio. And so again, I urge you to continue to support the strict gun laws that are proven to work, and also to acknowledge that we know what works already, that our teachers, our principals, and our families are already doing a wonderful job protecting our kids. Let's continue to invest in that rather than to look at a program that is unproven and possibly unsafe for our kids.
And thank you very much for being here. But what you saw this evening was it going to a committee and listening to views like what you're saying. So that's exactly what Commissioner Corsi and even Commissioner Parker were saying. So it is not anything's done. We want to reach out. So I thank you for your comments and for being here, because that's exactly what we're trying to do.
No problem. That's why I wanted to be here tonight, that I knew that you hadn't discussed it yet as a forum. And I thought for it to be offered to schools from Mr. Levinson before it came before this committee seemed, again, premature.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have other people from the public? There is somebody, right?
Yeah, so.
There's two. Who are we raising up first?
Alicia Newcomb.
Okay. Alicia?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You've got the floor. You just state your name and the town that you're from. Oh, who is it? Alicia?
She hasn't muted herself.
What?
Hello?
Yes. Hi, Alicia.
Hi. I'm sorry. I don't know why it switched back to being muted. My name's Alicia Newcomb. I live in Hamilton, and I just wanted to respond to you passing the resolution for CROPS. I am the executive director of CROPS Communities Revolutionizing Open Public Spaces, and I just wanted to express our gratitude to you passing the resolution, but I also wanted specifically to thank some of the staff for the county, Linda and Jackie at the county executive's office, and also Paul at the Public Works Department. They were just very, very kind to us, and they were really great to work with. And I just wanted to say thank you so much because we do a lot of work. I'm part of the Food Democracy Collaborative, which is a statewide coalition of people from a bunch of different, government organizations, but farmers and business owners and nonprofit organizations working on food security and planning better food systems in the state. And one of the biggest problems that we have is not that we don't have enough food. It's really just we don't have the correct pathways to get good food, nutritious food to people who really need it. And, I also wanted to urge the commissioners. I did ask this when I first reached out a couple months ago to everybody's email address that I could find on the county website. But I just wanted you to have it on your radar, the New Jersey EDA Food Security Planning Grant Program. When I asked about that, I think the intermediate director of the Department of Health told me that there was no plans at the county level to apply for that. But I had wondered if anybody had reconsidered that and if you were keeping an eye on that program. And also I just wanted to express, offer our organization as a resource in case you decided you wanted to apply for that funding when it does become available.
Thank you, Alicia, and thank you for what you do throughout the community as well. I'm not sure about the grants, but before I go any further, we'll pass that along to the staff members. I appreciate you, making notice of how well they took care of you.
Great.
The grant, do we know the grant, Jerry? Or?
Look, I think Alicia sent it, and I've given it to the departments that will be involved.
Oh, okay. So the information on the grant is going to the departments involved, and thank you very much for offering to send any information that they may need as well.
Great. Thank you so much. I also just wanted to note that back in 2021, we rescued 1,300 pounds of produce from local farms that we work with. And then this summer, ever since June 6th, we have rescued over 3,000 pounds of locally grown produce right in Atlantic County, and then redistributed it to different apartment complexes in Atlantic City and now in Pleasantville. And we worked with a low-income senior nursing home in Egg Harbor City, as well as a nonprofit daycare center. And so we hope with the van, we'll be able to come back again next summer and tell you that it's been even more.
Yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your passion. Any questions? Okay, is there something?
Outstanding.
We have
Keep
somebody
doing what
else?
she's doing. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Melanie?
Melanie, are you on?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Melanie. Just
Okay,
state your
hi.
name and your town that you reside.
Sure. Melanie Brzezowski, I'm from Northfield. And I just wanted to comment about the school security discussion. I was also at that meeting with the commissioners and the superintendents. I didn't quite have the same takeaway about it being a very well done presentation. It was very polished, but it was a little chilling, honestly. It was the police selling policing services is what it was. And honestly, the trainer was very emotional, and he made a very, it was pathos. I'd see why people would get, emotional and believe the things that he was saying. However, this person operates a business. It's not a nonprofit to what I understand. And basically, I just was very struck by the tone of the conversation, how it really was not based in research at all. When teachers are held to a high standard when they want to implement programs in their classrooms, and they have to show an abundance of research about why they decide to do a method or implement a tool. It's very highly scrutinized. That is not what happened at this meeting. This was here's a Band-Aid so you can feel good about something, that like you're doing something, but there was no real research to back any of that up. A lot of the research about school security says just the opposite, that, SROs and policing in schools not make schools safer. I know that I had emailed some of the school superintendents about this. I don't think they read those emails. But anyway, the perception basically that like an armed security person is going to deter school shooters is just incorrect. I mean, we have research that says that. And I'll give you a statistic. Let's see. A professor from the University of Massachusetts analyzed 111 shooting attacks between 1966 and 2015 for his book Rampage Nation, and found that only 18 took places in areas where firearms were banned. That is, school shooters do not favor gun-free zones. So, not only do I feel like the process was not on the up and up, in terms of, offering county funds before the commissioners had actually allocated those funds, and doing it with a very small group of people that were in attendance, like you said, about 40 people. That's not really giving the public the option. It's more like ramming it down their throats. And, I'm just not in favor of this. And I feel like you need to hear from people who don't want their children to go to schools where it feels like a prison, where there's police dogs and cops and everything is, feeling very scary and militarized. That's not the education system that I grew up in, and it's not what you grew up in. And I don't feel like it's fair to put our children in that position. It's not their fault. The state of the world is actually our fault. And it's not their fault. And they shouldn't have the punishment of being in this, very highly intense and anxious place where we have things like dogs and police officers, where they're supposed to be feeling comfortable and learning. So these are all just thoughts from me to you. I hope like you can mull it over. I don't think this is a good idea. I do not support it, and I hope that you take that into consideration.
Thank you, Melanie, and we definitely will. And as we noted before, it is going into our committee, and we are looking for comments from our constituents.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else from the public? Hey, any comments for the good of the order? Seeing, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, everyone.